Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Not going to give the date. I'll tell you why in a little bit. But anyway, I was sitting here last night and this morning thinking, what the hell should I make a video on? So why not talk about my journey on YouTube? I think it's been a while since I talked about, where this all started, how it's going, and where I plan to take it. So it's a live version, of course, so there will be community participation, hopefully. And then, we'll go from there. So, as you can see, most of you, you're well familiar with, let me do the zoomage here for you guys. For the name Retire on Dividends, right? But, way back when, let's hit, if I hit videos, right? And I hit oldest, way back when, 7 years ago, I decided to start YouTube. And I basically started the same time that I was learning about investing because, in my opinion, at least who was out there, who was available, who I was listening to, some of it, it's like they tried to go talk over your head. They try to, you know, use big words, look impressive. And I'm not saying all of them were like that, but some of them were like that. And I'm like, you know what? While I learn, let me try to speak to the normal language so I can talk to the everyday investor who wants to learn about investing and doesn't know where to go and doesn't speak, the lingo, shall we say. So I started the YouTube channel with the name The Broke Investor because I thought, oh, okay, if I call myself The Broke Investor, which I was, so it was a true name. And if I call myself that, maybe it's a little more approachable, right? Even though if you look at my first video, it's called, the thumbnail, it's a joke, actually. It's pretty funny. I basically went on Instagram and I typed too broke to invest, never. And that was my thumbnail. And then if you actually click on the video, it's me driving to work. I put the phone in my cup holder. I hit record and I said, we're going, baby, we're going. And that was the beginning of the channel. So the plan was to build out a YouTube base. I also built out an Instagram, which I still have. I also built out multiple Facebook groups, which I still have, but don't really monitor as closely. And, the idea was to give people a place to go to talk about investing and learn about investing. But the focus today for now is YouTube. So if you were curious, again, my name was not always Retire on Dividends. It was The Broke Investor. Long story short, The Broke Investor was not an appealing name. It's not clickbait. People were not ready to click on someone called The Broke Investor to learn about finance, to learn about investing, to learn about dividends, to learn about options. It wasn't click worthy. And, I realized that pretty quick. And so I changed my name eventually to Retire on Dividends. So anyway, at this point in time, when I'm recording this video, I have made over 1,600 videos, which is pretty insane if you think about it. There's I made a lot of videos. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's been over 7 years, though. As you know, I've been making daily videos for quite some time. It wasn't always like that because I was kind of like a closet YouTuber. When I started, I didn't tell anyone, not the wife, not the family, no one, because it was kind of, I don't want to say embarrassing, but to me, I was like, I'm not mentioning it until I actually turn this, into some, a job, like a moneymaker. And it took 5 years for that to happen, which we'll get into, of course. But yeah, 1,600 videos later, I have over 36,000 subscribers, which again, I am very appreciative. I would have never thought I had this many because, again, especially in the beginning, it was a true struggle. I cannot tell you. I don't know, it was just tough, man. You look at my first video, 330 views. When I started, I'm not even gonna lie, I was counting the individual views. So every time I got a new view, I was like, yes. If I got like 10 views, oh my goodness, like in a day, I was getting like super excited. So, and this went on and on, right? This next video, 175 views, 99 views, 192 views. Look at this video. I didn't even make a thumbnail. It's just me in the car. And again, at the time, I did have a child, so I was commuting to work, I believe, every day, if not 4 days a week. So there really wasn't much time at all for prep. And plus, me keeping it on the DL, obviously, I had to do it in the DL locations, such as the car. By the way, Dylan, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're very welcome, but thank you for supporting. Dylan Castile is a huge supporter, especially on X. Now he's on YouTube, which is cool. But he's always, everyone here is pretty much a huge supporter. So shout out to the peeps, that show up every morning. I do appreciate it. But again, yeah, this is just a different type of video, just showing where we came from. And as this says, from 50 cents to $20 a month, being a broke investor. So what this video was about was my first dividend, I believe it was from AT&T, 50 cents. I think they were paying 50 cents at the time. And then I made it to $20 a month. This was like dividend growth investing type stocks. And I was so pumped. I was so pumped to go from 50 cents to $20 per month. But you could see, all right, I made 136 views. So I'm like, okay, that didn't really work, right? And then I keep going. Interest rate facts for the broke people. Okay, well, that didn't work. I got 42 views. All right, moving along. Top 10 dividend investing apps and sites that I use, being a broke investor and all. Like that's my thumbnail. Again, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So let's be real. There was no one to talk to. There was no one to say, all right, you're a dumbass. Here, let me help you. Well, there was people saying you're a dumbass, but there wasn't people saying, oh, let me help you out a little bit. No. But yeah, that got over 100 views, at least 132 views. But this one, what the hell? What makes the S&P move? 29 views. That was a fail. Moving along. Let's just see again. 7 views. My Apple iPhone review. Clearly, they didn't want to hear my Apple review. So, okay, that was a fail. Moving along, this one only got 20 views. It's about the 401k. Obviously, I had a little more positive mentality about it, but I only got 20 views. And then look at this, intermittent fasting. Again, for those of you who may not be familiar, my other passion is exercise, working out, lifting, doing things like that, right? So when I found out about intermittent fasting, I found out actually this dates back, the Hodge twins. So right now they're a political channel, but before all they talked about was intermittent fasting. And I kind of learned that through them. They're 2 twins, buff dudes in good shape. And they say, yeah, we got a good show for y'all. But yeah, they used to always talk about intermittent fasting. And I was like, you know what? Let me make a video about it because I started the 22-2, which again, this is still 7 years ago, 22 hours fast, 2 hours eating window. And then my metabolism was working a little better. It was fine. But look at the video. Of course, this is over 7 years, but still keep in mind all these views over 7 years. So when you see 33 views, yeah, that's over 7 years. Okay. So the struggle is real. All right. So if you look here, we have 4,200 views on intermittent fasting. So this is a topic not even relevant to the channel, and it's my best performing video. But I was happy because again, that's something I love to talk about. In fact, it did motivate me. I did start an intermittent faster YouTube video, which I ended up making only a few videos, and I don't even know where it is right now. But I had to keep the focus on one. But anyway, yeah. So I'm still passionate about, working out and all that. But can I blend that into this channel one day? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's its own thing. But anyway, let's continue. Again, 36 views, 7. Who is the Dow Jones? Where's the this is like my joke of what the hell is the stock market? Right? Who is Dow Jones? Where's the S&P 500 race held? And where's the NASDAQ in space? That was I'm thinking, all right, that'll work. No, 17 views. 3M, all right, 3M, dividend growth stock. They're a dividend king. Nope, 49 views. Credit card, let's talk about credit cards. Nope, 16 views. Wow, okay. The struggle remains. How to get out of debt. This is probably around when I found Dave Ramsey. Huge Dave Ramsey fan back then because I was in debt, like bad credit card debt. You don't even know. It was just ugly. Car debt, credit card debt, even a little bit of school debt that my wife and I had, and neither one of us graduated. So it was all for nothing. It was an attempt. And, all we did was get into debt and we forget it. So whatever. 25 views didn't work. And then check this out, how to make money buying and selling phones. Now, this was also a side gig I always had. This is before, of course, Apple was buying your phones back. I used to buy cell phones on eBay. I'm not talking iPhones. I'm talking all phones, flip phones. I used to, not buy any. I'm sorry. I bought them on Facebook Marketplace. Like I'd meet up with people. I'd buy their old phones because if you do it that way, they'll be happy to take like $20 for an old phone they're not going to use, right? And what I'll do is I'll flip it on eBay, and I'll double the profit, triple the profit, things like that. Of course, there was a lot more involved than that. You have to make sure it, had a clean number attached to it. If there was an unpaid bill, the phone won't work. It depends how old the phone is. Newer phones are, they're able to track all that. All right. And then here's a video, anyway, that video only did 31 views. So obviously not as popular. Commuting video, 20 views. No, not good. All right, what else we got here? Let me take a pause and just see what the community's doing. They're just saying good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Again, different type of video because I felt like I've never really done this and give you the full journey. So, no, Bruce, you the man. Kind words, I do appreciate it. And here's Grumpy Toad, always showing up when he wakes up. Very thankful to discover your channel shortly after getting into investing early this summer. I remember waking up each morning and thinking how awesome it was to watch a new video every day. Yeah, I want to get into that towards the end too, because I want to think of new strategies for 2026, and I'm going to need everyone's help, just so you know. All right, so here's 7% plus dividend income. Again, at the time, it was like, again, still 7 years ago, amazing, right? 354 views, not bad. For me, that was a win. Credit card video, 10 views, back to failing, right? So as soon as you get your confidence up, you get shut right back down. Here's a McDonald's video. I worked really hard on this video. I used to have a chalkboard in my old house in the basement, and that's where I made a couple of the more detailed videos. And, a lot of detail involved, 79 views. So it's like, okay, smack in the face. And then there's a couple other ones like, oh man, I was so proud of this video. The battle of the big bank stocks, right? JP Morgan versus Bank of America versus Wells Fargo. That's the color coordination here. 95 views. Again, that was a chalkboard video. I worked really hard. Nothing. It's just damn. And then, yeah, man, it kept going. You could see nothing really did too great. What are my retirement options? 101 views. This is me. Look at this. I'm wearing like a scrubby ass white t-shirt. Look a little skinnier then too, but look at all the details behind the board. I had a little dartboard there. Used to have, people actually over my house, guys night drinking, with the darts. But anyway, yeah, I wouldn't even tell them about it. I wouldn't tell anyone about it. Because again, it's like, what? Oh, you have a YouTube channel. How many subscribers? 100. Wow, that sucks. But anyway, let's keep going. So 2018, the year in review. You want to hear my goals? No, 25 views. Okay, well, that sucked. All right. Oh, here's top 10. Top 10 anything usually does good. Well, it got over 100, so it's better than my average at the time. 107 views, so not bad there. Let's keep going. Let's see. We're gonna have to keep scrolling. Oh, here's one that actually did good. Monthly or quarterly. So what's better, monthly or quarterly paying stocks? 1,900 views. Again, that's over 7 years, but still, that was a win for me. But yeah. And then I did a whole video in my Rey Mysterio mask. It's a Giants Rey Mysterio mask I bought in Cancun. I got rid of it. I know people said we'll bring it back, but it's an updated version of the best apps and website. It actually did not bad. 162 views, maybe because it was an improvement to look at me in the mask versus looking at my face. All right. Dividend investing for beginners, over 100 views there. So that one, did all right. Moving along, here's where I covered the Dividend Kings. Again, I thought that was a really good video, but hey, 183 views, not bad. Again, all these others, failure. Coke versus Pepsi. I thought I killed it, man. I thought I killed it. 51 views. Okay. And then traditional or Roth, these never really do that good. I should have known, but 82 views there. Apple live event review. Wow, this should really do good. No, 25 views. You gotta love it, man. It's pretty funny, actually. AT&T sold out of Hulu, 106 views. That's surprising, actually. Here's a good one. Journey to 10K, broke style. This is how I got to 10,000 in my portfolio, which was huge. You could see it's a year later. All right, now we're at 6 years ago, 662 views. Not bad. Let me know if this is too much and too detailed for those of you that are live, or if you're having fun. Well, Nikki said she may go back and watch that credit card video. Hey, if anything, it may be entertaining to you guys. Oh yeah, go back and watch it and hit the like button, because these videos are still there, right? And it's just unfortunate that it's like, are they still worthy of watching? Maybe. This one says how to invest $1,000 for comical reasons. You should watch that, because I don't even know what I said. Again, I had a different mentality back then. I was a dividend investor, but I was a safe, I was not a degenerate. I was a safe investor, quote unquote safe. And then we got into this Landa real estate app, 2,600 views. This was mainly from the Landa community. But to be honest, this app was awesome at the time. I don't know if it's still around. If it is, it was a cool idea. Basically, it's think of it like a crowdfunding app. You're able to buy like $5 a pop or $10 a pop into a home that makes and you get a piece of the rent if they get paid. So I don't know. I know there's other apps that do that too, but Landa was like, it was different. I think it paid a higher percentage too, based on the others. Here's another Landa review, 893 views, so it did pretty good. Here's Starbucks. I tried to give a little flex there, but 336 views for a Starbucks review. All right, so what do we got here? We got HSA. This is where I dove. Again, I worked hard as hell on this video. 265 views at the time. Believe me, very, very happy. Here's the Broke Investors YouTube channel and long-term goals. God, that's car vlog style too. Good Lord. And then here, look at this. Even 6 years ago, let's all thank Robinhood for $0 commissions now and forever. And I still stand true to that. So a lot of these videos are still relevant, and I still believe. Oh man. Now this video, I've shared this multiple times since. I can't even tell you, I was so proud of me in this video. I worked my ass off because I wanted to know about Social Security. And I busted my hump making this little chart. I got 311 views. Again, this is over 6 years, but still, like I thought this would make a killing. So if you're ever curious about Social Security retirement benefits, trust me, this may be of actual use. I don't know. Again, it's dated, of course, but it's good. All right, how to track dividend stocks? 455 views, not bad. You can see the views are going up in time, but obviously it took 1 to 2 years. We're now at the 5-year range. My debt-free journey, Dave Ramsey-ish. See, Dave Ramsey-ish. So good. Again, a great Dave Ramsey video. I was always a Dave Ramsey fan. I don't agree with a lot of the things he says at this point, but it's still his strategy is what got me out of debt. So I'm always thankful for that. Qualified versus non-qualified, under 100, just under 100 views. And then, of course, Biden, talk about Biden and things like that, going political a little bit. Is that a smart idea? Who the hell knows? And then options trading for beginners. Oh boy. Again, 5 years ago, options trading. This is actually, this is in the new house. Yeah, it is. Okay. So this is where I don't even know how good that video is, but it's sometimes they give a preview. Where's the preview? Doesn't come up. All right. And then more options. You could see I was trading options on telephone and data systems at the time. TDS is the ticker. How to sell puts on Robinhood. Okay, great. What's a 529? These thumbnails are obviously weak sauce. And then I did some whiteboard videos, dividend investing for beginners. The view count was very bad. Here you go. Options trading for beginners, 355 views. Not bad. Okay. And then we get into this wheel strategy, 258 views. Not bad. Selling puts on BlackBerry. What the hell was I thinking? Again, I was into the BlackBerries. I was into AMCs, the GMEs. My original plan was trading those high volatilities, and I got burnt. I definitely got burnt on TQQQ. But this is more recent. Now we're getting 4 years ago. You can see 3 years ago, I talked about I was into shitcoins way back when. I was into Shiba Inu. I was into Meta, who was a shitcoin that paid you in Shiba Inu. Big into the community. I was big into various communities. I had to step away because I was just, I don't know. It was very time consuming. I'm not saying it's not worth it, because if you get involved with someone like an actual legit developer who's building some type of, again, they call them shitcoins. That's the legit name. You can make a quick profit, and it works, but it's a risk. It's very risky. And I've lost a lot of money. Oh man, I can tell you some stories. Pretty funny, actually. Okay. Let me go through some comments here. Again, we are live. I just want to see everyone's feedback if you have any, or if you're just sitting back watching. Let me take a sip of coffee. Again, different type of video. Hopefully you guys are at least maybe be a little entertained because it is funny. And here we go. Look at this. My first Tesla video ever. What is Tesla and how do they pay a 76% dividend yield? This was recorded 2 years ago and I got 4,700 views. Again, it doesn't say 2.5 years. It just says, I guess, if it's not 3 years and it's over 2 years, it's going to show 2 years. So it's probably over 2 years, 6 months. I don't know. I forget how long Tesla's been out, but whatever. This video got me 4,700 views. 4,700. Because when I heard about Tesla, I'm like, yeah, okay. And to be honest, there's a friend on Instagram. He was telling me about it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. That's not, no way. And I said, no way. And I kept saying, no way. And eventually I'm like, you know what? Let me look at it. So I'm like, you know what? Since I'm looking at it, I might as well make a video on it. And since I made a video on it, it got me 4,700 views. I'm like, wait. So what got the views? Well, probably either the ticker. The ticker was not as popular at the time, but I think the yield percentage, right? Saying 76% yield, that'll get people's attention. So I was like, oh, wow. So again, it's something you have to look at, at the same time, you have to cover what you want to, what you're good at, but you have to be, for your own good, cover what works. So since that worked, obviously, I kept with it. Right after that, I made a Clip video. Clip was the other high dividend payer. They paid a 50% yield at the time. This is more so like a China-related ETF that they sold covered calls on. 1,700 views. Okay, that's still good. And then look at this. How do Tesla and other YieldMax funds work? 7,200 views. Like at the time, I can't even tell you, man. I was like, wow. So here I go again, covered call ETF. Out of the money, baby. Look at it. I even wrote it then, out of the money. So, and I crossed off clip and I crossed off QYLD. What separates YieldMax from other covered call ETFs? And then you can see the website, by the way. If anything, look at it for the YieldMax website. It's a mobile version, of course. And by the way, keep in mind that during this whole time, all I have is a phone. I don't even own a computer, just so you know. I have a cell phone, an iPhone. I've been recording these videos, all of them on my phone. All right. I'm not using a computer. I'm using a phone. So no editing, no nothing, no speaker, just a freaking phone. Okay. But yeah, and it worked. It worked. And keeping along the line, look at this, how I'm retiring on dividends. A video, see, I did how I plan to retire on dividends with Tesla and others, and it got 7,900 views. It's amazing what happens when you add another word to a title, and you get that many more views. And then here I cover, I'm not going to say a safer option, but SFAL, which people know, only 600 views. Okay. And then, okay, back to commute videos. Oh, look at that gut. What the hell? 892 views. And then we got, back to YieldMax, 4,100 views. Okay. And then here, check this out. The current YieldMax Tesla holdings explained, 1,800 views. I think that was the beginning of the coverage that you guys are familiar with, that most of you found my channel with. How I'm retiring in 5 years, 6,300 views. Like, what? But again, I use the word YieldMax in it. Commute, 600 views. Okay, commute. People didn't like the commute videos. That's what I gathered over time. And then here, retiring dividends account update. Those videos always did good, at least over the last 2-3 years. I got 3,000 views there. Here's a video about SPY 2 years ago, 657 views. SPY is a wonderful fund. It's a great fund, but it's not clickable. It's not clickable. 12% yield doesn't do it. So isn't that crazy? And then again, here's YieldMax, 5,500 views. Look at this. YieldMax September distribution, 80. And this was made 2 years ago. So keep in mind, these views are over 2 years, but 8,800 at the time. I'm like, what? And then here, another commute video, under 1,000 views. But look at this. Tesla rolled the 245 call. So guess what? This is really when it started. 4,300 views. Tesla Holdings, 1,500 views. Okay. Now what's this? Okay. Cost basis is key on covered call ETFs. 3,700 views. Not bad. Commute video, under 1,000. Crap. Oh no, look at this. SCHD, 160% yield. Again, probably just to bust people's chops. This is to calculate how long you'll get a yield on cost of 60%, I believe. Tesla covered calls. Again, I talked about it during the commute. Commute video is not successful. Tesla video is successful. It got me 1,700 right in the middle. Moving along. So again, we're still 2 years away. Tesla Holdings, 2 years ago, 2,300 views. You get the gist. So I started covering Tesla, and then these thumbnails may look familiar. I was still doing portrait recording. Oh man. But and then I covered QQQY, 3,700 views. So I started covering Defiance. I was covering YieldMax, and here's where I got to the daily videos. Well, first, for 1 week, again, September 25th, 23, I made a new thumbnail almost every day. I covered Rec shares at the time too. They just came out. 4,500 views for Rec shares, not bad. This video did really good. Defiance versus YieldMax. So that got 8,400 views. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. This video, look at this thumbnail. It's not really impressive, but 6,000 views. I actually had a kid on Instagram. He created these thumbnails for me. So shout out to him. He's a good dude. This video did really good for me. Look at this, 25,000 views. Imagine some scrub recording on a phone called The Broke Investor. Obviously, I changed my name by then, but still 25,000 views. This was really a confidence booster for me. So the views were coming in, the subscribers were coming in, and I was covering high yield dividend ETFs, and I was having fun. I was even covering, the Cows fund, which again, I was a fan of that fund. Maxi, that video was a dud. I didn't really give it justice, to be honest. And then HCal, I was a fan of that fund. Tesla versus Tesla. Share price, again, obviously people love to do that. I did it 2 years ago, 1,900 views. Retire in 10 years, 8,700 views. Again, not bad. So a lot of Tesla coverage, a lot of, and then I threw in options here, options basics. Defiance, GPIX 2 years ago, 3,300 views, not bad. Curve, I threw Curve into the mix. They did good too. Again, daily, this is where I added daily Defiance videos. I was doing daily videos on Tesla, daily videos on QQQY, and I was driving myself a little, it was a bit much. So I had to kind of, I eventually stopped. But it was, I did it for a while. And the motivation was the new subscribers, the new views, the gain, the channel growth. And I was having a blast, busting my hump, right? So again, there was just a lot of work, daily videos, update holdings. You can see the thumbnails changing over time. Guys, remember this thumbnail? This was the OG Monday recap. You know, some of you probably do remember it. And then there's I Spy review, history. Look at history of my YouTube channel. And then I do it, you know, probably every year, sometimes maybe every 6 months, depending on the fact. Like today was just random. I was like, I don't feel like talking about anything. So I'll just talk about my channel. Then here we go. YieldMax is here, 9,000 views. So again, you could see it was rolling. It was rolling and rolling and rolling. The poop emoji always did good. I always gave a poop emoji when there was a bad trade or, you know, something got in the money. Here's what I talked about, the wheel strategy. I love talking about that, obviously. Here we go. Reverse split. Yep. Reverse stock split 1 year ago for Tesla. That was a big ordeal. And then you could see over time, blah, blah, blah. Retire on dividends. And then here's is this my first interview? I think my first interview was with Sylvia, possibly. 7,200 views. Again, it's intimidating at first doing your first interview with a fund manager, because again, you think to yourself, well, who am I? You know, who am I to interview a popular fund manager, let alone someone on CNBC? So yeah, of course, intimidating. I think I did start with pre-recording, and then eventually I quickly switched over to live. I like the feel of live, because again, why am I going to pre-record if I don't edit? I never edit. I will never edit. Well, I shouldn't say will never. Never say never. But I'm just not. No, I hit record. I talk. Whatever comes out, comes out. I'm not here to hide anything. I'm not here to take anything out. If you don't want to be on a live stream with me, then don't, right? If you don't want to be in a live interview, then don't. But, you know, again, it's just more natural to me. Any pre-recorded video, in any pre-recorded interview, to me, it's already fake, because they pick and choose what they do, right? I want it live. I want to see what people do live, all right? I'm not saying that, you know, you try to like embarrass them, but again, it's just more natural, and that's the way it should be. That's always my thoughts on it. But again, in the beginning, yes, of course. In the beginning, your first few interviews, absolutely pre-record, get comfortable, you know, for your own, you know, protect yourself. And then as you get comfortable, just go let the community do the interviewing. That's what I do. That's what you guys have run my interviews. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't even me, you know. I don't even prep for interviews. You guys basically run the show. I'm talking about the fund manager interviews, not the Monday, the morning show. All right. As you can see, I'm still scrolling. We're about a year out now. How to retire on YieldMax. These videos did fantastic. How to retire on Misty. That video obviously did good. I know it's a salty subject right now. People I'm getting like nasty comments under those videos actually. So they're going back. They're like, what the heck? And then here we go. Here's, you know, myself, Max Convexity, and Corey, the happy camper, New York Stock Exchange. You know, what a day, man. What a day. Here's Jay. Again, they invited us the first time, ringing the bell. Unbelievable. Like, who would have thought, right? You just, those things just don't happen to scrubs like us. But yeah, man, it's, I'm just going to catch up on some comments, because again, out of respect to the people that are live, I'm just going to go real quick. Oh, there's Cooper. Thank you. Yeah, thanks again, Cooper and Brooke. You guys were good old times, man. Good old times. Those two guys, I could have probably went for like 3 hours. We could have probably had a little comedy show going there. Dylan liked it, but Dylan's a good dude. He likes everything. Oh, Sunita likes it. And I know she's a tough cookie. Brooke and I had to bet to see who could make Rod laugh first. Hey, it's not like I don't laugh, right? I'm the kind of person that doesn't laugh. Like if you come up to me, can I tell you a joke? I just say no. Because I tell people, I'm like, I'm not gonna laugh. If I know you're gonna tell me a joke, I'm not gonna laugh. It's just how I am. I laugh at like things that happen. Live saves time. Yeah, absolutely, live saves time. Well, most of you know, like I record my videos 6 to 7. I work at 7, right? So there is no editing. Like this is why I go live. And I know lives do so much worse than pre-record videos on YouTube. So I'm hurting my channel by going live every day, but I'm making my life easier in the process. Lives is best for questions. Yeah, well, Mike and Venus, you guys are always live. So have you ever done pre-record? I don't even know. Probably, I'm sure. But yeah, live is just so easy. I'm glad you enjoy it. DPC Dad loves the lives. Future YouTube star there, right there, if not already, right? By the way, speaking of DPC Dad, his daughter is about to do her first interview. I did put a post in my Discord and ask you guys if you have questions for anyone for Will Reindick Granite Shares, please let her know. Help her out. Give her some good questions. Not what is nav erosion? Come on, guys. We're a little past that. Let's give her some legit questions. She's a growing YouTube channel, and we support good people who are starting their channel. I've always said that from day one because believe me, I know. You've seen it. Look at this. How long did it take for me to, I think pretty sure it took me like 5 years to get 1,000 subscribers, just so you know. Put commercials in your live to boost income. I thought that's automatic. Do you guys not get commercials? Maybe you don't. I don't even know. Is that a setting? Let's see. Yes, Yield and Grace. Absolutely. But I know she's not awake, but Dad's awake. So because Dad's here, yes, he reminded me. Again, we were just talking about the subject. First interviews are tough. I get it, right? It's a big step too. But eventually you get comfortable. Like you get to the point, like, again, everyone's different. I'm just a no prep person. Like this, I just said, let's just go in the room. I threw the laptop up. Let's just talk. I don't care. What am I going to do? Screw up? Who cares? I don't care if I look like a dumbass. Believe me. Anyway, let's move on. More poop emojis. We got spiders. This, again, I always recorded in the garage because, again, I was loud. And most of the videos were pre-recorded, so I would have to record around 4:30 a.m., 5 a.m., and normally the house would be sleeping. Not anymore. Everyone keeps getting up early, but that's why I just record. That's why I just do live now because I work from home a little more, and it's just so much easier. And now with the dog, oh my goodness, I don't think anyone gets any sleep. Here's the dividend car. This went over huge, 7,000 views there. But obviously, once I got my rhythm, things were great, right? Things were awesome. So, and you can see Ulti Holdings. Those videos always do well. My options trades, those videos struggle as compared to the YieldMax trades. And what I find out, I remember I know you guys missed this series. A lot of people do. I'm not gonna lie, I loved this series because it just was a great comparable. But the time that I spent making this video, oh man, I can't even tell you. Like I'd sit there on like all day Saturday and I try to get it done. It's like, forget it. It just couldn't do it. But like I said, one day when I'm retired, I'm gonna come up with videos like that again. I don't even know how I did it, to be honest. But again, you gotta bust in your ass. All right, there's baby. Baby must have been in the video. I don't know. Santa video, 11 months ago. So we're getting a little more current. Special announcement again, Jay and Mike Venuto, good people, man. If anything, again, I said I'm done with interviews for now, but I'm always down to interview Jay, Mike, or Scott. So just in case they're listening, let's set something up. Because I know everyone interviews Michael Coe, and and I did too. But to be honest, I want to hear from Jay. I want to hear from Jay. I want to hear from Mike. I want to hear from Scott. So if they are free, I would like to talk to them and let the community talk to them. All right, let's keep going. Bloodbath days, tariffs. Oof, remember that? Oof, that was a rough time 7 months ago. Rough times there. All right, let's keep going. Again, this is a long journey. I'm showing you the whole journey. But you could see like my views, my daily views were 5,000 to 6,000 views. Solid. It wasn't until recently that has dropped. But as most of you know, I did drop my coverage of what I do daily. So, and I also, another factor, something I changed here along the lines is I added my live stream to go on Twitter as well, or X. So a lot of the views are, if you look, I see 209 people watching. Most of them are from X. The YouTube views right now, the people that are watching on YouTube is not as much because, in the past, if I talked about, and Cooper kind of covered this yesterday. Yeah, Misty, people look forward to it. People religiously live by, and I get it. But it was just so mentally hard, to do all that. But I'm not saying I'm done. I had to, my channel's, as I say, in makeover status. All right. Let me just go through some comments and then I'm going to go through some stats. All right. So, damn, you guys are commenting a lot. All right. There's Cooper. We talked about that. Do one called SmackDown. Off to work. Thank you, Double D. Again, another new YouTuber. Guys, go check his channel out. He posts freaking daily. He works in the hospital. Like, he busts his ass all day and he still makes a video at night. So go give him a freaking sub, man. Yes, and drive safely, as Sunita says. Okay. I didn't get into YouTube until I was on lockdown because of the... Okay. Well, yeah, a lot of people started YouTube channels then. You can set commercials. Okay. Oh, wow. See, I didn't know that. Thank you, Mike or Venus or both. You, Rachel, and Mike from Health and Wealth. What about us? Let's see. Watching lives after has commercials. So I need to turn it on so you have commercials during the lives. You guys are going to be pissed if I do that. I know. See, Cooper, no. See, I don't even know this crap. I'll have to look at the settings after. Yeah, they're a fun time, man. They have a big following, and rightfully so. They definitely deserve it. Again, it's about fun and entertainment, especially when you talk about investing. Investing can be freaking lame-o sometimes. Well, I'm not, if I have the option, I'll do a little commercials. How about that? A little bit for me, a little bit for you. Yeah, just get YouTube Premium. There you go. Dylan, again, bro, you don't have to do that, but thank you. And I have talked to Howard, and I told him I'm done doing interviews this year, but I did tell him next year he's on the radar. I have never interviewed Howard. I did have him on a random live stream in the morning, if you guys remember. That was awesome. He showed up and he gave the announcement of his first KYLD distribution. Good dude. Really smart. Seems really smart. Yeah, I don't research KYL. I'll have to look at the fund a little. But yeah, that could be like a daily video too. I don't have to cover. I can cover whatever the hell I want. because I'm not bogged down. When I used to cover Misty daily or Tesla daily, I didn't have time for anything else. So can you share YouTube subscription in the same house? I can't do commercials. What do you mean? If someone, I don't know, we both log in the same subscription? Yeah, Mike and Venus. They were in the Philippines, they said. So they're surprised you don't know them. Yeah, Mike's taking his shirt off, flexing now. Man, the female viewership probably has jumped. Cooper's still here. There he is. Cooper's Time Venture. Time for updates. Roddy, I'll do Roddy tomorrow. Deal? I didn't do any trades yesterday, so. All right, that's the videos. If I, you know what, real quick, let me click home again. And if I go to videos, and I'm going to click popular, my most popular videos, look at this. Wow. My most popular video is how to retire on Misty. My second most, how to retire on Ulti. My third most, how to retire on YieldMax. Like, come on, bro. Really? This is surprising. And to be honest, these videos are not that hard to make. So, but I feel it just seems, I don't know what the word is. I'm trying to turn the fireplace on, freezing in here. But yeah, it's, I guess maybe I should only make how to retire on videos, right? Because clearly this is evergreen content, which I'll get into in a second. But this video, I love this thumbnail. I didn't create it, of course, because I don't, you know, I'm using AI. I'm getting better. But 25,000 views. Look at this. Interview with Jake, 15,000 views. You know, there's a lot. Reverse stock split. You mentioned that, 12,000 views. These are older videos, but still, these are my most popular videos, which is crazy. Where's my interview with Scott? I had Jay and Scott. I thought that made a killing. I don't even know. I thought it had like over 25,000. Not sure what happened. Something ain't right. Oh, live, duh. Live and then popular. Here it is. Yeah, here it is. Scott and Jay, 56,000 views. By far my best live video. You know, not even close. But yeah, people go to your channel, they click videos. They don't click live. And that's why my live content doesn't really do any justice. So a video like this, it's not smart to do this video live. But again, it's easier for me. So, all right, now we're going to go to the channel dashboard and just show you kind of some numbers. So some analytics. I just want to show you, since I changed kind of my coverage, my subscriber count has gone down pretty drastically. I'll show you over the past 90 days. I'm actually now losing subscribers, which was never the case, until recently. So I talked about the reverse split on Saturday, November 15th. I gained 23, but then the next day I lost 11, then I lost 14, then I lost 9. And again, I think it's either because the stock market was tanking, or Misty was tanking, or Tesla, or because I stopped the daily coverage, and people were finding out, and or they hate me, or they're sick of me. And I get it. 19, I lost 9. Like, you'd have to go out of your way to click unsubscribe. So yeah, things are, not on the up and up. They are on the down and down. And you can see even the views, they vary, sometimes up and down. Watch time up and down, but it's not as much as it has been. Revenue, of course. Look at this. I lost $107 in one day, but I did take away the Wheel Warriors membership. I don't know if you guys recall that, but I was trying to create a group where I could spend more time with individuals to talk about options. And I just felt like what I was offering was not worth whatever I think I charged was 25. I'm like, this is not worth your time. So let me make the decision and cancel it. So that was a loss. But then after that, there's occasionally good videos. But now, I used to make over from $100 to $200 a day. Now I'm making around 20 to 40 bucks a day. But again, I'm covering what I want, and I'm not stressing out at night. I'm not busting my hump at night anymore. So you got to take the good with the bad, So right now, this is the bad. It's makeover time. What is my channel? And that's what I need to decide. All right. So let's click on. And I don't care. I'm not salty about this. I really, because I'm happier because I have more time. More free time at the moment. Why is this not refreshing? All right, let me see. Audience. Well, what if I click content? What is that going to show me? All right, so new viewers. I get new viewers from live stream, so that's good. Regular viewers, live stream 20,000. So look at regular viewers. I guess where I get most. I don't even understand how to read half this crap. Forget all that. Let's go to audience. I never look at this. So popular with different audiences, YieldMax, reverse split. Okay, videos, growing my audience, reverse split video. Channels your audience watches, Doug the Retirement Guy, SoCal Stevo, Unconventional Wealth, Marcos Milla, and Spencer Invest. I've met everyone here but Doug. Hopefully I'll meet Doug one day. I don't really watch much. I've seen a bunch of his videos. I should watch more because he does pop up a lot. So let's see. What else we got? Watch time from subscribers, 75%. Not subscribed. 25% of my watch time is from people who do not subscribe. So yeah, if you're not subscribed, just double check. The beauty of subscribing is you can set the notification bell, and then I'll tell you when a video comes out. So here's, age and gender, only 6.2% female, which again, most investing comes from the male side, unfortunately, but we got to get them comfortable. So, Nikki, Sunita, TNA, you guys got to tell your friends. All right. We got to bump this number up for 26. All right. What about age? Most of my audience is 45 to 54 years old. Okay. Makes sense, right? I'm in this bucket, 35 to 44, and then obviously on the higher range. And then, of course, 55 to 64 is also a popular range. Most of my audience, 78% is from the US, 7% Canada, and then so on and so forth. Again, these are just some stats. If you're curious on how much I make, is that here? Where is that? Where's the revenue? Revenue. Oh, here you go. All right. So why is this May? Okay, no. So November, this is my lowest month in a while, 1,100. Big pay cut. You could see, if I go up here to May, I was making I made my highest month back in May, 4,800 bucks. Wow. Again, these are sorted by. Again, I don't know what this. Why is this view sucks? Let me X out of this. All right. Well, here. Anyway, I was making July was 3,200, August 3,000, September dropped to 1,900. Again, big drop. We skipped to 2,000, October 1,900, and then this past month is 1,100. But again, a lot of changes. I'm covering Roddy. A lot of people don't want to see Roddy, and I get that. But it is what it is, man. It's what I want to talk about more. So you get what you get, and you don't get upset. All right, let me go through some comments, and then let me talk about my strategy for 2026. Okay. Wow, you guys are chatty, which is good. I love it. Okay, so that's where I was last. Good morning, Kieran. Kieran, always a big supporter. see. How to retire on Roddy. Yeah, I wonder if that one would actually do good. They'll probably look it up. Like, where's the ticker? Let's see if you guys have any comments or questions, and then we'll go from there. Wow, this video is almost an hour already. The new fund manager on CNBC yesterday talking about YieldMax. Really? That's surprising. All right. So anyway, I wanted to talk about evergreen content. So what is evergreen content? And why is it essential? So evergreen content refers to videos that stay relevant and valuable over time. Okay. These are videos, again, I'm just reading through YouTube, buddy, not tied to current events, trends, or viral moments. Instead, they solve problems, answer common questions, and teach timeless skills. For example, a video on how to tie a double wins or not will still be useful 5 years from now, but a reaction video to the latest meme or celebrity news will quickly become irrelevant. So why am I talking about this? Because 100% of my videos are not evergreen content. Maybe I had a few here and there that could qualify as evergreen content, but my biggest downfall, and I always knew this from day one, my videos are only relevant for the day I make them. The day after, they're useless. So as good, as happy as I was to getting those 5,000 to 6,000, views each day, I understood that video is a dud the day after. Maybe you get some lingering views here and there. Maybe they click it on accident. But long story short, my videos are useless the day after. So why am I talking about this? Well, because I want to stop that. I understand a lot of my content has to be useless the day after, but not all of it. So I'm 2026. I'm thinking, at least once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, come out with an evergreen content type video, which means, again, I could talk about, I can make an options series, and that'll be evergreen content because options trading, the strategies behind options, that typically does not change. Or, reading a balance sheet, or how to create a Google spreadsheet from scratch. I don't know. Again, this is why in the beginning I said to you guys and gals, what would be, I need your help. And again, I'm going to pull up a spreadsheet, and it's called evergreen content. This is the tab. For those of you that are here, we have 271 of you, most of you from X. But again, X, you're allowed to chat too, in case you didn't know. If you guys have any ideas for me on evergreen content, but let me know. Let me know now, and I'm going to type it in as we go. Because, what are your thoughts on evergreen content? There's a couple YouTubers here too. If you think about, imagine making a video that is as relevant today as it is 5 years from now. People can still watch it, right? So I'm not saying every video of mine going forward has to be evergreen content. All I'm saying is, why not throw a video here and there that could be relevant forever, or at least for the next 5-10 years, right? Again, a lot of things can change. We understand that, but I gotta start, considering, different things that are going to help out the channel. So yeah, let me know if you're here live and you have an idea. You may not come up with it right away, but let me know if you do. If not, this is going to be the key word. So hint, hint, this will be the key word for the day, because again, this is kind of, something I've been thinking about, which will help out the channel moving forward. Because again, if I go back to my channel, right, if I look at my videos, portfolio update, nobody gives a crap about that after the month's over. Roddy update, nobody gives a crap about that after the day. Misty update, right? Who cares about that? Rec shares update, Granite shares. It's not relevant a day after, right? So what can we talk about in the investment space that will be relevant from now until at least, 5, 6, whatever years out? So here we got our first answer: how to invest in the stock market for dummies. I mean, yeah, we could do that. I'm going to write it: how to invest in the stock market for dummies. I could spell. All right, so there's one. Setting up retiring on dividends to replace your Social Security would be a good evergreen content. Okay, setting up your new dividend retirement account to replace Social Security income. Okay, what else? What else we got here? High yield versus traditional ETFs. Yeah, that could, as long as high yielders are still a thing. High yielders versus traditional. How about high yielders versus dividend growth? I think that'll be a good one. All right, what else we got? Investing basics. Buy on red versus green. I mean, yeah, that's kind of under the how to invest in the stock market for dummies. So it's probably under that umbrella. Yeah, I know. That's going to have to be under the options series, options for dummies. Should we call it for dummies? Or should we call it something else? We could think, we'll think about it. Again, that's the naming, even though you think it's evergreen content, the naming has to be to reference that. Buy, borrow, die. Yeah, I get it, but I need to do it myself to speak about it, to justify it. That's a good one. That would not get good views though. I could, 401k, people don't watch videos on 401ks. I noticed that, but I do know a lot about 401k loans. So that's something I could do. And of course I know a lot about bank loans. I did work at a bank for many years. So let's see. Yeah, so that's kind of under options for dummies, but options wheel strategy for beginners. Okay, gambling versus investing. That would be a fun video. I'm good at both. I'm good at losing at both, actually. Let's see. How to read a prospectus. God, no. Oh, man, no one's going to click that. Come on, Grumpy. Where to find a prospectus? No, I can't do it. Options for newbies. Yeah, we kind of did that. Explain dividend payouts monthly. Yeah. Biggest investing mistakes. Yeah, I could do that. Some of the, doesn't even have to be specific to me. Biggest investment mistakes. Okay. I'm not the AI guy, so that would not be for me. I'll leave that to you, Backyard Prospector. How to read charts. Good God. That would be ugly, but I'll get M Cheese to join me on that. All right. How to read chart. M Cheese, are you listening? I need you. But yeah, that'll be for me. How to balance life in YouTube. That might be a good one. How to balance life. And you know what? That would just be a video of me talking. I think that would just do well. Because people like that, actually. I never do videos like that. Or have a life outside. Yeah, there is no life outside of you. There's not with kids. Yeah, that is clickbait for sure. But I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely clickbait. How to use Gung Fu for trading and investing. When I used to get the prospectus in the mail, I went straight. Yeah, I got one on iBit the other day. Well, my kids did because I just bought them iBit. It is many, many pages. I did not read it. I did not throw it out yet, though. I'm trying to get them to motivate to read it, but my 3-year-old drew all over it. So how to buy XPay? Nah, that's good. I don't buy XPay. So building an income engine from the book. Yeah, building other income sources. Other income sources. Yeah, these are things that like people that never heard of my channel, they could click this. I know you guys are like, oh, duh, you know, but like we have to think of other people. All right, we're an hour over. So as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. Hopefully you enjoyed the journey of my YouTube channel over the last 7 years. Yeah, it was a struggle for sure in the beginning. It was nuts. So, but it was I wouldn't replace it with anything, because now you appreciate it that much more for all the blood, sweat, and tears. Bitcoin supply. Yeah, I'm not I would give that no justice. Dartboard investing. If I still had the dartboard, I'd definitely do that. But yeah, so snap, never mind. Gotta wait for the yeah, you do. Don't be going anywhere just because I said not financial advice. Yes, hi Venus. I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. All right, what else we got? I'd like to see how you set up your spreadsheets. Okay, I could do that. Spreadsheets, Google Sheets for beginners. You know why? Because Google Sheets is freaking free. Well, if you have app, I assume it's free for everyone. Google Sheets. Google Sheets. How about investing Google Sheets for beginners? There you go. Boom. Okay. What else? Reading. Yeah. Enough with it. I'm not making a video. I do enough boring videos on prospectus. Nobody wants to know how to read a prospectus. But all right, we got to get to the keyword. And the keyword is just what we've been doing. So before I even get to that, thank you all that have been here live. Thank you, Dylan, for the double freaking super chat. But thank you all for the live participation. It was a good time. Good turnout, good live chat, good feedback, something different. Again, is this evergreen content? Maybe. Yeah, probably is. But it's a live video, so it's not going to do as good. But hey, whatever, man. Whatever. Uh-oh, she's not feeling good. I made her laugh. That's what it's all about, right? She take my money when I'm in need. All right, there you go. A little more. But we got to get to the keyword. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword. So the keyword is one of two things. First, if you have an idea for my channel for evergreen content, please leave that in the comments below and I will add it to my spreadsheet. I'm gonna have a nice big old sheet and big plans to make at least, like I said, one video, or once every 2 weeks, I'll make an evergreen content video. Again, this is content that's relevant, not just today, not just tomorrow, but maybe next 5 years, next 10 years, etc. All right. If you don't have an idea, that's fine. Just type in the word evergreen or evergreen content. And then that way I know, and all these other suckers know that you made it to the end of the video. All right. Sound good? All right. As always, thank you all for being here live. Thank you all for watching after. I do appreciate it. You can see where we came from. Hopefully, we don't, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep making videos on this, that, and the other thing. One idea I have is going live on like news events, like when the S&P adds a new fund. I think that's this Friday. I'm going to be away though. But, things like that. Even earnings. Earnings is lame as hell, but why not go live or do space? I don't know. I have some ideas, but let me know your ideas, what you guys think. Work with other YouTubers, things like that. And by the way, if any of you listening want to make a YouTube and you're thinking about it, do it. Do it. There's You have myself. You have a lot of others who are out there that are willing to help support you. So just keep that in mind. All right. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you all for watching and have a great day. Later.